Good afternoon, each and everyone. So today we are here for the third lecture of our event. I would like to invite Mr. Ranvijay sir for the further session. Please, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. I hope my voice is clearly audible, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
And can you please give me permission to share the screen? That's okay.
Yes.
And I hope my screen is visible now.
Yes, sir. Your screen is
Okay. Let's start now. A very warm good afternoon to everyone. My name is Ranjit Parmar. In today's session, we will discuss a basic idea about how we can achieve a problem solution fit and a problem market fit. I will discuss both these problems one by one. We'll have some brief discussion about it. I will also discuss some case studies in the later part. So while having any startup, while getting into any startup functioning or starting a startup, there are three most critical stages that every startup has to face. The first is problem solution fit, where you are required to get your idea working, take a feedback from all the customers or business persons that you know, and build a product which is ready to be used by some customers. And the second stage is when your product is verified whether it is market fit or not, where mainly you raise funds and everything activities has come. And finally there comes the scaling, where you launch your product for the market scaling also. We'll in this session we'll discuss the first two stages where problem solution fit can be achieved and how market can be achieved product fit. So I will start with the first thing, how we can have a problem solution fit. So usually whenever we are about to have an idea, we are confident that we have an idea that can be capitalized, that it can be converted into a company which can generate revenue in the future. The first thing that we do is prepare a business plan. We prepare a business plan. We have a 24 to 50 pages, 1,000-page business plan, which is in detailed everything. And when you present it in front of any investor or any consumer, 99% time it fails. The main reason behind it that the thing is that we don't know how to convert that idea into a product that is actually user friendly and which can attract masses and solve their problem. So to understand those things, we have to have certain procedure to follow that will help us to understand what are the loopholes in our product, what are the drawbacks that we have to look into before launching it, and how we have to work upon those problems. Those things require certain iterative methods, certain cycles, because your customer that you are going to provide the service have a very different kind of mentality. If we consider ourselves also, we say that we want to shop online, we want to buy something online. There are plenty of apps or websites out there. You have Flipkart, you have Amazon, you have Myntra. But it is not necessary that you buy everything from a single website. You might buy electronics from Amazon, or you might buy apparel from Myntra, or you might find other home decor best in the Flipkart section. Every website has their own MSP on which they work. The problem might be same, but for customer, what he really wants is something very complex to understand. And as soon as you get a grasp of how your product can be very beneficial for them and how you can reach them and how they will take advantage out of it, both economically and service-wise, your product is good to go for further process. So for customer, you don't require to lose hope in the initial stages because your market product will fail very in early stages. That is very normal, very common. Most of the startups have faced this scenario. So there is no need to be negative about it. But you might lose some money, you might lose some good years of your youth into creating something big in future. But those things are very helpful in your later stages of your company because your business plan will get revised continuously after every review from investors, from customers, from everyone. Until unless you become a very crystal, very compact and very tight in terms of its objective, you might hit the bullseye. The stages that are followed to find a solution between the two is first of all contact customer. Whatever customer, it might be a retail investor, it might be a business investor. It depends upon what kind of company, what kind of idea and how solutions are providing. So you have to first take a feedback from them, continuously iterate and check how their feedback are valuable for your business, your plan, your idea, your product. Do those minute nuance changes. Those experiments will come very handy in the future when you are going to develop that particular application for your mass audience. And finally, if your product is ready, you will scale. So there is a thing called value proposition, how to add value to a product, how to decide whether it is actually solving the problem. Because any idea you generate is not necessary it is solving any big problem. It has to have a capability to have a mass problem to be solved. So that can actually create a revolution in that particular sector. Already in the past 2 decades, every kind of solution is available online. You have food delivering app, you have taxi ride booking app, you have shopping app, everything is available out there. You have medicines delivering applications already are fine with like companies. So in future, if you are creating something new, it has to be something that is very unique and it's solving some problem which are not taken into consideration by the past companies. So you have 2 things. The circle diagram usually is for customers, for people who are observing your application, and the rectangular is for designing that you are going to provide. And we are going to see the fitness between the two, how these two fit into our particular idea, particular model, particular product. And then only we can come to a conclusion that yes, our product has that caliber, has that ability to provide a particular solution to all the customers who are willing to pay for it. So we have to first of all find 3 things. One is customer job, what they are expecting, what they are wanting to achieve from this application, this job. What are their present gains, what are their expectations, and what are the pains that they are facing from the present, whatever applications or products are out there. What are drawbacks in that particular app? First, we have to find these 3 products, these 3 things from customer's point of view. And based upon those 3 things, we'll find a product and service, whatever we are trying to achieve for our idea, for our company, for our startup. We'll create gains according to our survey that we have performed from different customers. And we'll find the pain relievers or solutions for those pains which customers are already feeling. So these 3 things will help us to actually create a solution for a particular problem, which will create a product that you can launch in further stages. So to discuss the same, I am just sharing a slide of value proposition canvas of Uber. Uber is a company which help us in booking rides, intercity and intracity both. When they initially started rolling out their product, they also have some market strategy. They basically found out that any customer basic job while he or she is willing to book a taxi is to contact a good taxi driver, a good taxi service. Everybody wants that their driver should behave well or should be very professional. That is the first thing, especially girls, when they feel safety wise, they also find it difficult if there is no such type of verification process. Second, control of cost. Everybody wants to know that how much it will cost for reaching from one point to another. So that also is something a customer's job is. Third is waiting time. Usually, if you don't have an application, you don't have a Google location of your taxi driver, you find it difficult to estimate how much time it will take for him to reach your home, your whatever location you are standing. we require that time. And third is payment. What are different options if a consumer can pay for his or her ride? These are the basic jobs that a customer has to do to contact and to control everything. What are the gains they expect? They expect that you can track your cab. You can have a one-click order. You simply click and you can place the option for ride. You don't require to pay any additional amount of time while payment, and a trusted driver. These are the gains that are expected from customers. Finally, pain. What are the things that any customer usually find it difficult? That is low availability of cab. For Uber, they find out that all the apps that are out there, they have very low number of less number of drivers listed or less number of cabs listed. You need to book a cab in advance. This is a pain. If you want a cab after some time, you have to book it in advance so that the driver gets to know that after 1 hour he or she has to reach at your location. Driver's behavior might be not good, or there might be some issues with the payment also. These are some of the pains which customers feel before Uber came into the market. So what they did in order to solve this problem, this gain and pain, they have created a passenger app for mobile phone, and they have 3 different products. One is Black Cab, Uber X, and Uber Prop. They have specially designed it for purpose of different type of customers, from industrial customers who need daily rides, occasional rides, and intercity rides who are going upstairs, something like that. They provided a navigation system into their application, which help any consumer or any customer to actually track the location of driver as well as the path or route in which he or she is traveling. Then second is ability to manage all the trips into a single platform. You can manage all those things. You can have a credit card option also, which you can add those details in the app only, and you can pay directly with the cab without actually paying cash or something like that. And finally, rating system, which is very important for them because they can actually filter out the drivers who are usually very known for misbehaving or are not professional enough. So they can move them or filter them out of the system or give them less number of rides. These are the gain creators they have created for their particular product. Finally, for the pains, they have provided arrival time prediction, how much time it will take, like what we use like nowadays, we use Ola and everything. We know that the auto or cab will reach in 15 minutes, 10 minutes, or how much distance. They have started giving this prediction initially. There is a flawless automatic payment. They have started their own wallet also, where you can add money in advance, and as soon as your ride ends, it will automatically debited. You don't require to pay anything or scan or anything at that time. Driver rating is also there, and final thing is 24/7 availability. You don't require to have an booking in advance. If you require it on the spot, you can book it. This is how a value proposition system is created by Uber, where they have sorted out certain problems and finally created a metric where they can actually list out how they are going to solve this problem. So this value proposition system can be considered into various sections. The first thing will be a customer segment. You have to focus that on what type of customer your idea, your product, your application is mainly focusing. Try to narrow down whatever ideas you have into a single problem before trying to be distracted to solve different type of problems. Your problem should be focused, also your solution should be focused for single problem only. There are different applications who are dedicated towards one single problem, like you can see Lenscard. It's an online platform where you can buy things, but it initially only focused on providing a very valuable platform for all the consumers who are willing to buy eyewear online. Later on, once it became a brand, it started selling different things also. Or you can say Nykaa, it's a cosmetic brand who sells cosmetics online. There are Amazon, there is Flipkart who sells different things. But this app are specifically designed to focus on those problems because they think that these apps don't focus more on their product. So you have to find something like this. Then second thing is jobs. You have to list it out all the jobs the customer is willing to perform while using your product. You have to deep dive into it. You have to do a thorough research into it and find what are all the things that the customer needs to do while pains? What are the drawbacks? What are the issues with the presently available market or solutions that already are out there? What are the loopholes? What are the problems out there? You have to find out, because unless you don't have something unique in your product, nobody is going to sell it or buy it. So take that thing in mind. Then gains. What are the benefits customer will get after having this type of product? You will have to list it out all the possible things that come under this category. And finally, you have to rank it out before your product, your solution is appropriate to solve that particular problem, or your problem solution is fit or not. You have to create a list of all those factors and list it out and do a ranking system. Things which are most, or things which are on top of the table, no? They are the ones which are most extremely essential, and on those only we have to focus right now. There are some problems which are not so normally happens with people. So there is a big possibility that it is not a mass gainer or a mass attractor. You don't focus on that. We have to somehow focus on a mass, because that is what will generate revenue at the end of the day for the company. So ranking will help us to understand that what factors are more important, because your product will focus on them only. Once you have identified those pains and gains and eliminated those factors which are not that much of priorities for you right now, you will omit them, and you'll prepare a map where your solution will help us in addressing customers' problems and identifying those problems and finding a customer solution for all those things. This value proposition will be extremely helpful for you in creating different types of opportunities for both contacting investors, attracting those investors, and later on finding a good product in the market also. There are total 6 different tools that are very essential. One is information, which is data that you will gather from survey or online available or some third party source. Understanding the emotion of the customer, how he or she thinks, how you yourself as a customer thinks for that particular problem. Then prepare a strategy according to it, and do a brainstorming, do a session, discuss with different mentors and all, how those strategies that you have made, the solution that you think, how it can be a different possibility or different solutions rather than what are already available. Are they going to work or not? If yes, how they are going to work? If not, how not they are. So you have to logically be both positive and negative for your product, for your whatever solution that you are providing for particular problem. After filtering out those problems, you have to focus on a high frequency, high volume solution, because ultimately, if your idea is good and if you can't generate revenue out of it, your problem, your startup won't succeed for a long run. You have to filter out and you have to reach masses as soon as possible. For that, initial customer relationship is very important. Their feedback is very important. And ultimately, your product output is very important to generate those mass people working. Unique offering is again one of the things that is very important in digital India, digital world. You might be providing same thing that these two gentlemen are doing, but if you are charging for a product, how it is unique from those who are already providing it for less charges or who are providing free, there has to have something unique about it, and you have to find before launching it to the customer. So what are the what actually makes your solution unique? So always, whenever you pitch your idea, always whenever you pitch your work towards in front of, even this is applicable for your job point of view also. If you are trying to think that while going to any interview, if you think that the interviewer is at least going to see your resume, it has to have some point which attracts them. Everyone writes his name, details, father's name, education qualification, skills, and everything. But how you are different than other 50 candidates sitting with you? That will what make interviewer interested in you, listening to your words, and finally you can actually ask for good payment once they think that you have that unique proposition which points you out from rest of the world. That's why I have shown a small message from Sheldon Cooper from The Big Bang Theory. It's a very good show I have watched a couple of years back. That's why I kept this photo in the slide. You have to have idea about your work, what you are creating, and never have a doubt about it. If you are going to pitch your idea in front of any investor, he or she will ask you that, do you have a marketing representative? Do you have a sales representative? Do you have a user interface representative or IT guy or accounts or CA? That is very basic from any company they ask, and you should have those things with you before you are going to reach those clients. So be ready, at least do the brainstorming to find what is the uniqueness in your product, then move forward with the next step. Now, what is the minimum viable product? Every product that you form, every solution that you find for a particular problem, which you think is fit for the market, there has to be a particular product which have very minimal investment, minimal effort, and just put it out in front of customers, take their feedback, do the iterative method, do the cycling, again launch that product. What this minimal viable product will help you do is, it will help you in saving the lot of time and money that you can invest and launch the product, and then finding that your product has certain amount of mistakes which you are later going to solve. Every company, every tool, every startup, every product has a initial alpha model, which we call model, which is not according to norms of the market, but at least is trying to solve a particular problem. It is launched for a small group of customers, and later on their feedback is helped us to create a crisp product which is further ready to be used in the real-time world. So what is how you build a minimum viable product? Less money, more viability, because the product you are about to launch, it might be launched already by some company which had a backup by a good financial institution. They might have put certain amount of money into it. They might be solving it. But how your product can be different than them, it will be an intersection between that minimalization and viable solution. There are 6 steps that we have to follow while developing this MVP process, starting with market research, adding value to your idea, mapping out how user used to work for that particular problem, then prioritize different features that you are actually working on, launch your MVP, find the feedback, exercise on BML like build, measure, learn. Build product, measure its capability, learn from the feedback, again do the same cycle until unless you are sure that you are 70% of your customers or clients are very happy with your product. This is how you find your solution for the particular problem is fit or not. You have to continuously look out for the people's feedback, their reviews, and their reviews will help you ultimately gain the skill. Now, how to build an MVP with the minimum amount of investment? I have shown 2 diagrams into it to figure into in the screen. Suppose I want to build a car, and if I will start it with a wheel and adding a chassis into it and adding a dashboard into it, and then finally I will provide a car to my customer, there's a big possibility that in the initial stages, your customer will have a very bad experience and they will give you very bad feedback. And once your company had a negative feedback in mind of customer, most of them will not return again. We all have this experience in past also, that we have bought something from online platform or some other resources, and we don't have good output from their side, or we don't have good experience from their portal. We don't reach out there. Even if they have resolved those problems, they have sorted out those problems, still we don't trust them anymore. The thing is that before creating such type of big project, go for minimalization. Like in the second cycle, start with the skate, move to cycle, bike, then move to car. You are offering in every stages, and every stage has a certain amount of consumers or customers are available who are happy with your product. It might be a small product, it might be solving a single problem, but it's solving it in the best way possible. And that will create your customer which is going to buy your product in future also, where you are going to improve your product as well as your scaling is also going to improve. So do this thing, product has to be created into its minimalization format, and then further move towards it. What is the next step? Now, since we have checked that our product is fine, good to go, it's actually solving a problem, we are having an adrenaline rush, like, yeah, I have created something, I have a business, I have a company, registered, everything. Now, how to move to the next stage? Once your problem solution fit is achieved, the next stage will be problem market fit, where your product, which you have already designed on paper, it will reach a particular group of customers and investors as well. As most of the funding that you will raise will be in the stage of product market fit only. You will get all the funding ideas and all the funding people contacting you will only contact you once your problem solution fit is ready. All the people are already participating in Shark Tank India, they already have a product as problem solution fit idea ready. Then only people are interested in your product or investing in your product. So while discussing this, how your product fill the gap in market, or is it actually filling the market or not, is what product market fit is all about. If you talk about discussing the definition terms, it means being a good market with a product that can satisfy the market. So market has certain demand and your product is fulfilling it, and definitely your product is market. So TMF is what we will abbreviate into this. We have discussed in initial slide also that we have 3 stages of any startup, from solution fit to market fit to scaling. We have discussed that solution fit is where your idea is conceptualized, your customers are developed, while in product market fit, your customer validation is what matters a lot, and while in scaling, your customer creation is what will be really important. That is the stage where you will generate a vast amount of revenue. This is the usual curve while any startup is started by any particular founder or co-founder. Their happiness level is indicated by the red line. Every person who hit by an idea, who think that they have an idea, initially they are very happy, emotionally they are very overwhelmed. So they have very good energy, enthusiasm, they are very happy. Once they reach out to people, they talk to them and got rejected several times. That's the thing of when their reality really hits them. And this reality will make their happiness level come down. They will be depressed, they will be frustrated, everything will happen at everyone. You are going into that font and that market. But this is the time when you have to keep yourself motivated, you have to keep yourself up on the floor. You have to experiment, you have to do pivot testing, you have to start working on the problems because of which your product has been failed or has been rejected by several people as investors. And as soon as you have started working on those things, your product will be market fit after some amount of time and hard work. And that is when you will have investors, customers, and scaling everything. So this is the part and parcel of this startup of any sort of area. What is product market fit? A product which fulfills demand, which is actually able to compete with other available options, and which is best out of them. It's the intersection of demand, product, and competition. And if something comes out of the 3 intersections, you will have a product market fit. There are different defining product market fit. A product market fit can be a compelling value hypothesis. It can be something which builds something for people what they want. It might be solving some problem, something which worth solving. It might be something that people talk about with their other friends, that I have used this particular product and it is very good. That publicity can actually give you a good boost for your product. So if your product has this ability that people can talk about it, it's very good. It's actually market fit product. Or if it has a massive market pull, that as soon as you have launched it, people are very much attracted towards it. That means the product is market fit. So these are some of the emotions or points that actually help us in understanding whether our product is market fit or not. There are 4 products or 3 products that comes in the cycle of any startup, from early stage, from growth to scaling it up, where different types of modifications were done in the form of working out. You have to have 4 steps for creating a market fit product. You have to reach out to target audience, add value to a product, find the minimum viable product MVP, and finally your product will be ready to be tested for further investment. You have to map both market and product for your market fit production. You have to create a user interface. You have to create some value propositions. You have to find some target audiences as well as. So this will help in finding a basic intersection between the two, how your product and market can fit into each other. There are certain stages which we already discussed in past slides. But in the starting point where your problem solution, your idea came to your mind, you found out the customer review, customer research you have done in the initial stage, you have found MVP, then you move towards the finding the problem solution fit after MVP. Then you have created a beta testing launch. You have to find a certain product that you can launch. Finally, you can go for product market fit that will help us in generating a actual feedback from the customer, real-time customer, and finally scaling it. You can have lean production of different markets. I have shown this thing. You can have a lean canvas template as well, which will help you in understanding whether your product is market fit or not. I have shown one lean canvas model from Tesla. As you all know, Tesla, whose I think CEO is Mr. Elon Musk, one of the most profound entrepreneur and founder of our generation. He has a company called Tesla who works on electric vehicles. Found it, I think, 15 years back from Martin and Mark, and later on bought by Mr. Elon Musk. They have created this model initially when they are launching their company in the market. They have found some problems that since the cost of fossil fuels like petrol, diesel are already on the high, there is a big need that there is a secondary option, an alternative option to those fossil fuel based vehicles. So the solution would be what? An electric vehicle, which is source efficient, it performs better than this. What is the unique selling proposition? The uniqueness that their solution provides is that it's a battery operated vehicle with high efficiency. Tesla usually forms sports cars or luxury cars, which usually are thought of as that can only be achieved using diesel or petrol cars, but they have formed those cars which speed 0 to 100 kilometers in 3 seconds, 2 seconds, super cars. And they are electric vehicles. You can charge them, you can have a battery inside them. So Tesla actually built those things. They are the first successful commercial electric vehicle rolled out early, I think 2005 to 2006. They have an existing alternative like General Motors that you have. Their key metric will be number of buyers, how many people are willing to pay for it. What is their high level concept? Electrical car with high performance. They have retail stores as a channel. Okay, so there are different sections which are covered by them while creating this whole proposition to generate revenue and cost. Whenever we are in a stage to understand any particular problem, any particular sector, any particular product, lean canvas model will help us in understanding how much our product is market fit or not. So do the formula, do the process, create your idea, do the burning, do the heating, create a product which is market fit. Finally, do the functioning and feeling about it. What are the emotions behind it? What are the economics behind it? How much marketing that you can perform? This all product will combinedly make your product successful. Product success is not just your idea or your marketing, or it's a combination of all those things along with the idea that you are serving to come. So there are different canvas also, product market fit canvas. I have shown one example of iPhone user, how it is different from other applications and how it is solving different problems and how it can check whether an iPhone is market fit or not, the particular product is market fit or not, whether its alternatives are better or they are better than them. You can check those things by creating a product market fit solution. Easily understand that thing. How can you measure the product market fit? First is NPS score, which is like going for a reality check, taking sentiment, going out there, taking feedback from people, everything. we have growth rate, we have market share, we have churn rate. All these numbers will help you in understanding how fit your product can be for the market and how much you can generate out of it, how much fuel it has to move forward. There are 5 signs which you can look out to check your product market fit or not. User engagement, consumer engagement, how much he is willing to pay for your focus or pay focus towards your customers. How much customers are actually referring your product using mouth publicity or anything or offers and all those things. How less expensive you can make your product, because in the market like India, if you have a product available which is cheaper than you, providing similar services, obviously people will not buy it, even if they are loyal to you. There has to be something that is very unique into you, then only they will pay. Team expansion, add people, have a team with different points of view, different minds, different ideas that you can inculcate in your product, and finally generate a revenue out of it. We have discussed already measuring market fit solution. How you will discuss that whether your product is market fit or not? You have one-on-one customer reviews. You can have support system, customer support system. It can help you understanding how much problems actually coming back to the customer services, so that you can understand that this is the problem that is continuously out there. And there is ARR framework. We'll discuss in the next slide how it works. And then we have a SaaS rule of 40% output. If you have a growth and profit margin more than 40%, usually your startup is considered as a good product which can be further improved operation. So what ARR framework does is think about acquisitions, activations, retentions, and referrals, and finally your revenue generated or not. This all matrices are considered. Their traffic from website are evaluated, their experiences are monitored, their number of visitors who are coming back are noted down, and this all data actually help us understand what modifications or what changes that are required on their part. Finally, SaaS rule, as I said, if you have a growth rate and profit margin of 40% and you are continuously achieving that thing, usually our product is considered as a good product or product which is good to go in the market. Finally, there are different myths about product market fit, which are shown in your screen. That product market fit is a one-time event. No, you have to continuously go through it at every stage of time. Even if you're an established company, they also do this check continuously until because if they don't check, they will get outdated. They don't know how their customers are going to respond, and soon they lose all their customers. How to achieve your program market fit? It's evident out there. You can't lose your achieved market product. You have to continuously create it. Achieving program market fit often happens spontaneously. No, it takes time. So there are different points that are myths about PMF that you have to keep in mind while working forward. This is all about product market fit and problem solution fit from my side. If anyone has any doubt or if you ask to discuss something or share something, yeah, feel free to do that. I think that's it from my side. There are no questions.
Thank you so much, sir, for your valuable time and all the participants for joining the event. Thank you so much, everyone. You may leave the meeting now.